Welcome to this life-changing video. If you've ever forgotten an English word just seconds after learning it, if you'd studied vocabulary for hours only to forget everything the next day, if you've read an entire English article and can't remember what it was about, if your head feels overloaded with grammar rules but you can't use any of them when speaking, then this video is not just for you, it is meant for you. You're about to learn the exact 12 steps that can unlock your brain, upgrade your memory, and help you remember everything you learn in English forever. This isn't just another 5 tricks to boost your memory type of video. This is a deep, powerful system that will transform the way your brain learns English starting today. And here's the best part. As you watch this video, you're improving your English naturally. You're learning how to use real, clear, powerful English sentences while discovering how memory actually works. So, whether you want to remember every English word you learn, never forget grammar rules again, speak confidently without translating in your head, or train your mind like a genius, stay with me till the end. Because if you truly apply the steps I'm about to show you, you will never forget what matters again. Let's begin. Step 1. Understand how memory works, the real reason you forget everything. Most English learners think they have a bad memory. They say things like, "I'm not smart enough for English. My brain is weak. I just can't memorize vocabulary." But here's the truth. You don't have a weak memory. You just have an untrained one. And the first mistake is this: we never learned how memory actually works. Let me explain it to you in the simplest way possible. Your brain is like a giant library. Every time you learn something, a word, a phrase, a grammar rule, it's like putting a book on a shelf. But if you don't place that book carefully, if you don't label it, if you don't come back and check it, it gets lost in the noise. That's exactly what happens in your mind. Information comes in, but it doesn't stay because your brain doesn't move it from short-term memory to long-term memory. And that's the key. Short-term memory is like a whiteboard. You write something down, but if you don't save it, it gets wiped out. Most information stays here for only 20 to 30 seconds. Long-term memory is like a permanent notebook. Once it's saved there, it stays forever. This is where fluency lives. This is where automatic English happens. But most learners keep everything in short-term memory. They hear a word but never repeat it. They learn a phrase but don't use it emotionally. They study grammar but don't practice it. So the information never moves to long-term storage, and it disappears.
Real example. Let's say you're watching an English video. The speaker says a word you don't know. Serendipity. You look it up. You read, "finding something good by accident." You think, "Oh, nice word," and you continue watching. 5 minutes later, someone asks, "What was that word you learned?" Your brain goes blank. Why? Because your brain heard the word but never processed it. It was never repeated. It was never linked to emotion. It was never visualized. It was never used. So it vanished. Now imagine this. You see the word serendipity. You repeat it out loud. Serendipity. Ser-en-dip-it-y. You create a sentence. Meeting my best friend was pure serendipity. You remember a moment in your life when you found something good by accident. You write it in your notebook. You use it in a conversation the next day. Now your brain has focused on it, connected it emotionally, repeated it, used it actively. And next time you need that word, it's right there, ready. The lesson. Memory is not a talent. It is a skill. And like any skill, it begins with understanding how it works. If you keep throwing English into your brain without understanding how it saves information, you will always feel lost. But if you apply what you're learning right now, you'll finally feel in control. Your memory is not broken. Your system is. And today, we're going to build a new system together.
Step 2. Pay full attention because you can't remember what you never noticed. Here's a brutal truth that will change your English learning forever. You don't have a memory problem. You have an attention problem. You cannot remember what you did not truly see. You cannot remember what you did not truly hear. You cannot remember what your brain never focused on in the first place. Why this matters so much? Every day, your brain receives millions of pieces of information. Sounds, colors, movements, words, faces, texts, notifications, noises, headlines, voices, images. If your brain tried to remember everything, you would go insane. So it chooses what to keep and what to forget. And how does it choose? Based on your attention. If you focus on it, it stays. If you don't, it disappears like it never existed. Your attention is the key that unlocks memory. Real English learning example. You're watching an English video about climate change. The speaker says, carbon emissions are accelerating at an unprecedented rate. You hear it, but your mind is already somewhere else. You're thinking about dinner. You're checking your phone. You're half listening while doing something else. Later, you try to remember what the video was about. Your brain gives you nothing. Why? Because you were physically present but mentally absent. If your mind is not here, your memory won't be either. The solution? From now on, whenever you're learning English, stop, pause, focus. Give the information real attention for just 5 seconds. When you hear a new word, stop, repeat it. When you read an important sentence, pause, say it out loud. When someone speaks English, listen, really listen. Those 5 seconds of attention can be the difference between remembering for life and forgetting forever. The rule? You can't save a file if you never opened it. Don't blame your memory, blame your focus. Memory begins with attention. And that's why Step 2 is the foundation of everything.
Step 3. Turn words into pictures because your brain thinks in images, not text. Now that you've trained your attention, here's the next secret. Your brain doesn't remember words. It remembers pictures. Let that sink in. If I say the word elephant, what pops into your mind? The letters E-L-E-P-H-A-N-T? No. You see a big gray animal with a long trunk, flapping ears, walking slowly. That's how your brain stores data, as images, not as text. So if you want to remember English vocabulary, grammar, or any information, you need to convert it into a mental picture. How this changes everything. Words are boring. They're abstract. Your brain doesn't know what to do with them. But images are alive. They have color, emotion, shape, movement. Example 1. Learning the word umbrella. Don't just think umbrella equals rain protection. Instead, imagine a giant yellow umbrella the size of a house. You're standing under it during a purple rainstorm. The raindrops are the size of basketballs. You're laughing because you're completely dry. Now, you'll never forget umbrella. Example 2. Learning volcano. Don't just picture a mountain. Imagine a giant birthday cake erupting with red-hot chocolate lava. Add sound. Boom. Add smell. Burnt chocolate. The cake is singing happy birthday. It sounds silly, but that's why it works, because memory is emotion, movement, surprise. Memory is created when your brain says, "Whoa, that's cool, let's keep it." Try this with a vocabulary list. You want to remember milk, eggs, book, shoes, cat. Don't memorize like a robot. Create a picture story. A giant milk carton is reading a book, sitting on a pair of shoes, while a cat wearing glasses watches, and eggs are falling from the sky like snowflakes. Now close your eyes. Picture it. See it clearly. You'll never forget that list. Why this works. This technique is used by memory champions who memorize hundreds of words in minutes, actors who remember long scripts, language learners who remember thousands of foreign words, business speakers who deliver presentations without notes. And now you can use it too. The new rule. From now on, don't just read, see it. Don't just hear, visualize it. Don't just study, animate it in your head. Turn English words into pictures. Turn grammar into images. Turn facts into funny mental movies. When you do this, your brain will no longer be a leaky bucket. It will become a vault filled with clear, unforgettable pictures. This step alone can make your English memory 10 times stronger.
Step 4. Use the story method because your brain is wired for narrative, not lists. Here's a life-changing truth. Your brain doesn't like boring facts. It likes drama. It likes characters. It likes emotion. It likes stories. And that's why the next memory tool is so powerful. If you want to remember anything in English, wrap it in a story. Why lists don't work? Imagine I give you this vocabulary list to memorize. Apple, horse, jacket, candle, ice cream, cloud, socks, chair, tree, monkey. Try to memorize it right now. You might remember 3 or 4, maybe 6 if you push hard, but after 5 minutes, gone. Why? Because a list is disconnected. Each item is floating alone, no links, no feelings, no relationships. Now, let's change the method. Instead of memorizing, we create a crazy, funny, emotional story. Ready? A giant apple falls from the sky and hits a horse on the head. The horse screams, runs into a shop, and steals a jacket. He lights a candle to see in the dark, but accidentally melts an ice cream cone. The ice cream explodes into a cloud that rains socks. One sock hits a chair, which grows into a tree. And from that tree, a laughing monkey swings down and gives you a thumbs up. Now, pause, close your eyes, repeat the story to yourself. You will remember every word in the exact order. Why? Because now the list is no longer a list, it's a movie inside your brain. Why stories work? Stories have connection. Each thing leads to the next. Stories have movement. Your brain loves action. Stories have emotion. Even if it's silly, your brain says, "This is fun." Stories create visual scenes, so now it's not text, it's memory. This is how children remember fairy tales word for word, but forget their homework. Movie lines stick in your brain for years, but news headlines disappear the next day. Great speeches are remembered for decades. How to use this for English? Want to remember vocabulary? Turn each word into an image. Build a story connecting them. Want to remember a grammar rule? Create a story where the rule is the plot. Example, the past tense went to visit the present tense, but they had a fight, so now they never appeared together in the same sentence. Want to give a speech in English without notes? Make every point part of a story in your head. Walk through the story mentally. The story doesn't need to be logical.
In fact, the crazier, the better. Your brain holds on to surprise, not logic. So give yourself permission to be creative, weird, even childish. Because this is not just memory improvement, this is memory liberation. Use the story method and you can literally turn anything boring into something unforgettable. That is the superpower of memory.
Step 5. Practice spaced repetition, because one-time learning is fake learning. Let me share a painful truth about learning English. Cramming is not learning. And memorizing something once does not mean it's in your memory forever. Your brain needs time, space, and repetition to save things permanently. This is where spaced repetition comes in. It is one of the most powerful memory techniques in the world, and it's used by language learners, medical students, memory champions, top performers in every field. Let me explain it simply. Think of memory like writing in sand. You learn something today, you write it clearly, but tomorrow, wind comes, the writing fades. By next week, it's gone. This is called the Ebbinghaus forgetting curve. Yes, it's real science. If you don't review information, your brain forgets it quickly. Here's how to beat forgetting. Learn it once, review after 1 hour, review again after 1 day, then after 2 days, then after 4 days, then after 1 week, then after 2 weeks. Each time you review it, your brain says, "Oh, this again. It must be important," and it saves it deeper and deeper. After 5 to 6 spaced repetitions, the memory becomes permanent. It's like turning sand writing into stone carving. Real example with English vocabulary. Let's say you learn the word resilience. It means the ability to recover after difficulties. You love the word, you feel smart, you tell your friend, but then you never see it again. 1 week later, you forgot it. It's gone. Why? Because you didn't repeat it. Now let's try the spaced repetition way. Day 1, you learn resilience. 1 hour later, you write a sentence, "I admire her resilience after losing her job." That night, you say it out loud again. Day 2, you try using it in a conversation. Day 4, you write a short story using the word. Day 7, you hear it in a podcast and smile because you know it. Day 14, you teach it to someone else. Now that word belongs to you forever. How to practice spaced repetition. Use free apps, Anki, Quizlet, Brainscape. These apps automatically test you using spaced intervals. Or do it on paper. Create a vocabulary box. Write the date. Check back every few days. It's not about tools, it's about timing. Why so many learners feel broken. They say, "I read this already, why don't I remember?" Or, "I studied for 5 hours, where did it go?" The answer, no review equals no memory. One-time learning is like watering a plant once and then never again. Spaced repetition is like watering it gently again and again until it grows deep roots and stands strong forever. If you apply this one technique, your memory will stop being temporary. It will become permanent, reliable, and ready whenever you need it. Step 6. Use emotional connection, because feelings make memory permanent. Let me tell you something so powerful that once you understand it, your entire English learning will change forever. The stronger the emotion, the deeper the memory. Think about your life for a moment. Do you remember what you wore 7 days ago? Probably not. But you remember the day someone broke your heart, The time you felt humiliated in class, when someone gave you a genuine compliment that made you cry. Why? Because your brain doesn't just store facts, it stores feelings. That's why this step is so powerful. If you want to remember English deeply, you must attach an emotion to it. You could read a sentence 10 times and forget it tomorrow. But if one sentence made you cry, made you laugh, made you feel strong, you'll remember it for the rest of your life. That's the power of emotion. It activates a part of your brain called the amygdala, which signals, this is important, store this forever. How to use this for English? When learning vocabulary, ask yourself, how does this word make me feel? Can I connect this to a real experience in my life? Can I find a way to care about this deeply? Example, learning the word abandon. Weak way, abandon equals to leave something. Powerful way, think about the day someone left you, or when you gave up on something you loved. Feel that sadness, that loss. Now the word lives inside you. It's not just a definition, it's an emotion, a memory, a part of your story. Example, learning a grammar rule. Weak way, present perfect equals have/has plus past participle. Powerful way, think about something you've done that you're proud of. Say out loud, I have learned English for 5 years. Feel the pride, feel the journey, feel the accomplishment. Now that grammar rule is connected to your identity. Even with boring topics, sometimes a topic is boring. You have to learn it anyway. Solution, fake emotion if you must. Example, math formula. Yes, even for English learners who need to understand logic. Area of triangle equals 1/2 times base times height. Boring formula, right? Try this. Imagine the triangle is a slice of pizza. You're hungry. You only get half. That pain of eating only half a slice will make you remember 1/2. Yes, it's silly, but your brain doesn't care about logic. It cares about emotion. The truth, even fake emotion is better than no emotion. If you truly understand and apply this, every English lesson will feel alive, and what is alive never dies. Step 7. Teach what you learn. Because teaching is remembering twice. Now let me reveal one of the most underrated memory secrets on earth. If you want to remember English forever, teach it. Not tomorrow, not next week. Teach it immediately, right after you learn it. Because the moment you teach something, you go from receiver to creator. You stop being a student and you start becoming the master. And that changes everything. Why teaching is so powerful. When you teach something to another person, you are forced to do 3 things. Recall it clearly. Pull it from your memory. Organize it in your mind. Make it logical. Say it in your own words. Make it yours. This forces your brain to rebuild the knowledge from inside. And anything you can rebuild, you will never forget. It's like carving it into stone. Real example. Let's say today you learned the phrase, "It's raining cats and dogs." You read, it means heavy rain. You understand it, but if you walk away and say nothing, your brain says, okay, maybe this isn't important. And within 24 hours, the phrase is gone. But if you say to your friend, hey, do you know the phrase, "It's raining cats and dogs"? It means when the rain is really, really heavy. Like yesterday, I was walking home and it was raining cats and dogs. I got completely soaked. Boom. Now your brain just built a memory that will never die. Why? Because you didn't just learn it, you used it, shared it, taught it, and made it personal. You don't need a classroom. When I say teach, I don't mean become a teacher. You can do any of these. Explain what you learned to a friend. Speak it out loud to yourself in the mirror.
Write a social media post about it. Record a voice note pretending to teach someone. Make a mini video, even if no one watches. You don't need an audience. You just need to activate the teacher mode inside you. And when you do, you learn deeper than ever before. The science behind it. Studies show students who study and then teach others perform up to 90% better on tests. Doctors who teach new interns remember procedures faster. Even spiritual leaders say, when you teach, you heal twice. Once for them and once for you. Teaching is not the end of learning. Teaching is the proof of learning. Your new habit. Every time you learn something new in English, a new word, a grammar rule, a phrase, a pronunciation tip, immediately explain it to someone or to yourself. Say it out loud. Today I learned that piece of cake means something very easy. For example, that test was a piece of cake. Even if you're alone in your room, say it. That 30-second explanation will lock the memory in your brain forever. The transformation. If you apply this step daily, you'll become a memory machine, more confident in your English, an inspiration to others. Because when you teach, you don't just learn, you become.
Step 8. Create a mind palace, because your brain remembers places better than facts. This is one of the most legendary memory techniques in history. It was used by ancient Greek philosophers, modern-day memory champions, actors memorizing entire scripts, and it's so powerful that people have memorized the order of entire decks of cards, entire speeches word for word, hundreds of random facts in minutes. It's called the Mind Palace. And now I'm going to teach you how to build one for English learning. What is a mind palace? Your brain is naturally good at remembering places, locations, buildings, rooms, houses. Even after 10 years, you might still remember the house you lived in as a child, the color of the walls, where the couch was, the smell of the kitchen, your favorite corner to hide. Why? Because your brain loves space. It remembers places because places anchor information. The mind palace concept. Imagine this. What if you could place any English vocabulary, grammar rule, or phrase you want to remember inside a location in your mind? You could walk through your memory like a hallway and collect every detail you want. That's the mind palace. How to build your English mind palace. Step 1. Choose a place you know very well. Your home, your school, your favorite cafe. The place should be familiar so you can walk through it in your mind easily. Let's say you choose your house. Step 2. Imagine walking through it. Visualize your front door, then the living room, kitchen, bathroom, bedroom, balcony. Try to picture it as clearly as possible, like a mental video game. Step 3. Assign English items to each room. Now take what you want to remember and place one item in each room using pictures. Example, you want to memorize 8 English idioms. Here's how your mind palace might look. Living room, a giant piece of cake sitting on your couch. Idiom, piece of cake. Very easy. Kitchen, your sink is overflowing with cats and dogs falling from the ceiling. Idiom, it's raining cats and dogs. Heavy rain. Bathroom, a broken ice cube in the bathtub, everyone ignoring it. Idiom, break the ice. Start a conversation. Bedroom, your bed is made of silver with clouds underneath. Idiom, every cloud has a silver lining, positive side to a bad situation. Balcony, birds of the same color sitting together on the railing. Idiom, birds of a feather flock together. Similar people group together. Stairs, you're biting bullets while climbing. Ouch. Idiom, bite the bullet. Do something difficult. Garage, a cat is jumping out of a bag, looking surprised. Idiom, Let the cat out of the bag. Reveal a secret. Garden. All your eggs are literally in one basket that's about to fall. Idiom. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't risk everything. Step 4. Walk through your mind palace. Now close your eyes and walk through your house mentally. Living room, piece of cake on couch, piece of cake. Kitchen, cats and dogs raining, raining cats and dogs. Bathroom, broken ice, break the ice, and so on. You will never forget these idioms, ever. Why this works. You're using locations your brain already knows. You're adding visual stories inside those spaces. Your brain associates space with memory, making it stronger and stickier. This is how memory athletes memorize the exact order of 500 random numbers, learn entire speeches, and remember complex information instantly because they place it inside their mind palaces. Use cases for English learners: memorizing vocabulary lists, learning phrasal verbs, remembering grammar rules, memorizing speeches or presentations, learning irregular verbs, studying idioms and expressions. The mind palace gives you structure, and the brain loves structure. Tips for success. 1. Make the images strange and emotional. The weirder, the better. Your brain remembers unusual things. 2. Review your palace often. Walk through it daily. The more familiar it becomes, the stronger it gets. 3. Keep using the same palace. Don't create a new one every day. Build one palace and keep adding rooms. If you truly use this technique, your brain will no longer be a place where English gets lost. It will become a temple where everything you need is kept safe, organized, and ready.
Step 9. Review before sleep. Because night is when your brain decides what to keep. Here's a fact that schools never teach, but it's scientifically proven. What you do in the last 10 minutes before you sleep can change what you remember for life. Yes, your brain has a special power at night, and if you don't use it correctly, you're throwing away your best chance to build English memory. What happens when you sleep? When you sleep, your brain is not resting. It is cleaning, organizing, storing everything you learned that day. It's like a librarian going through all the books you opened. It decides, keep this, delete this, move this to long-term memory. Forget this, it's useless. And what tells your brain what to keep? Repetition plus emotion plus timing. The problem: most English learners study vocabulary in the afternoon. They do well, but they don't look at it again. Then at night, they scroll Instagram, watch 10 TikTok videos, check 5 random memes, watch Netflix. Your brain says, oh, these funny videos are important. He saw them right before sleep, and it keeps them. Meanwhile, your English vocabulary? Thrown out with the trash. The solution: imagine a new routine. Before bed, you take 5 minutes. You sit quietly. You review your English learning from that day. 10 vocabulary words, 1 grammar rule, the phrases you practiced. You whisper them. You use them in sentences. You feel proud. Then you sleep. Now your brain says, yes, this matters. Let's move this into permanent memory. You wake up stronger. What to do each night before bed. 1. Turn off distractions. No phone, no loud music. Create calm. 2. Open your notebook or flashcards. Review what you learned today, even just 5 key points. 3. Speak them out loud or silently. Hear yourself say the words. Reinforce the memory. 4. Close your eyes and visualize the words. See yourself using them. 5. Feel proud. Acknowledge your progress. Sleep with peace. Why this step is special. A. No extra time needed. It's part of your natural sleep process. B. Deeply improves memory consolidation. Scientifically proven. C. Builds consistency and discipline. Daily habit. D. Improves not only memory, but sleep quality. Calm mind equals better rest. The transformation. This is a hidden weapon that most people ignore, but the masters use it every night. Students who review before sleep remember 3 times more than those who don't. Your new night routine. 9:30 p.m., finish your day. 9:45 p.m., turn off screens. 9:50 p.m., review today's English. 5 minutes. 10 p.m., sleep peacefully. The next morning, wake up with English already in your long-term memory. This simple 5-minute ritual can change your English learning forever.
Step 10. Write things down. Because writing is the save button of the brain. There's a reason why people forget what they read, forget what they hear, forget what they see, but they almost never forget what they write. Why? Because writing activates your brain in a completely different way. It slows your thinking down, forces you to organize your thoughts, creates a strong physical and mental connection between your hand and your memory. Think of writing as the moment you press save in your brain. The difference. When you hear or read something, your brain is passive. It says, "Okay, that sounds nice," and often forgets it within minutes. When you write something with your own hand, your brain becomes active. It says, "Wait, this is serious. I need to understand this deeply." And that's when true learning begins. Writing doesn't just help you remember the sentence. It helps you understand the meaning behind it. And when you understand, you remember for life. Example. Learning the word resilience. Weak way. You read resilience equals ability to recover after difficulties. You smile. You understand. But if you don't use it, you'll forget it tomorrow. Powerful way. You take your notebook, you write word resilience, meaning ability to bounce back after tough times. Sentence. After losing his job, he didn't give up. His resilience helped him find a new path. Personal connection. I want to become more resilient in my English learning too. Even when it's hard, I won't quit. This process takes 60 seconds, but now the word is no longer just a definition. It's a story, a feeling, a part of your life. You've written it into your brain. Typing versus writing. Typing is fast, but writing is real. When you type, your fingers move automatically. Your brain doesn't engage deeply. When you write by hand, you slow down. You feel the letters. You see every shape. That physical action builds deeper memory pathways. Even science says students who write notes by hand remember better than those who only type or highlight. What to write? New vocabulary, important phrases, grammar rules in your own words, sentences you want to remember, quotes that inspire you, lessons you never want to forget, mistakes you made so you don't repeat them. Your personal memory library. Writing is your personal memory builder. You are building your own mind. One notebook written with love and attention is worth more than 10 videos watched without action. The new habit. From today,
Build the habit of writing daily, even just one sentence in English. Example: today I learned the word perseverance. It means continuing despite difficulty. I will persevere in my English journey. That's it. One sentence every day. It's not just good for memory, it's a superpower. Step 11. Use active recall, because testing yourself builds true, unshakable memory. Most English learners make a huge mistake when studying. They keep looking at the answer again and again. They think, I understand, I've got it. But understanding is not the same as remembering. The real question, not can you understand it while reading it, but can you remember it when it's not in front of you? If the answer is no, then the knowledge is not yours yet. This is where active recall comes in. It is the most powerful and most honest memory method in the world. What is active recall? It's simple. Close the book, close the app, close the video, and ask your brain, can I remember it? No looking, no cheating, no copying. Just you, your brain, and the truth. And that process of pulling the information out forces your memory to get stronger. The more you pull, the more your brain keeps. Example: learning a grammar rule. You just learned, we use have been for actions that started in the past and continue now. You read it, you like it, you understand it. Now test it. Cover the sentence. Ask yourself, what grammar rule did I just learn? Can I explain it in my own words? Can I create a sentence using this rule? Maybe at first you struggle. Maybe you only remember half. That's okay. That struggle is where the real learning is happening, because now your brain is trying, working, strengthening. Repeat the process. The next day, test yourself again. Now you remember better. Next week, test again. Now you'll remember for life. Why this works so well? Think of it like going to the gym. Reading is watching someone else lift weights. Active recall is you lifting the weight. Every time you recall something, you're lifting a mental dumbbell, and your brain is growing stronger. How to practice active recall? After reading an English article, close the article, write what you remember. Don't look back. After watching a video, pause, say out loud what you learned. Test yourself. Use flashcards. See the English word, try to recall the meaning. No peeking. Before sleep, try to remember 3 English things you learned today. Say them out loud. Create self-quizzes. What does this word mean? Can I use it in a sentence? Can I explain this grammar rule? The truth. Don't just reread, retrieve, rebuild, recall, because retrieval builds retention. Yes, it feels uncomfortable. Yes, it's easier to just reread or watch again. But if you want memory that sticks forever, you must be willing to test yourself in silence, not in front of an exam, but every single day on your own. That's how champions are built. That's how deep English knowledge is created. Make this part of your daily routine, and your brain will become unstoppable.
Step 12. Protect your mind from overload, because a crowded brain can't remember anything. Let's end this journey with a truth that no one talks about, a truth that may be silently killing your English memory every single day. Your brain is not meant to carry everything. It is meant to carry only what matters. And right now, your brain is overloaded, full of noise, full of junk, full of information that doesn't belong in your English learning journey.
You're not forgetting because you're lazy. You're forgetting because your mind is cluttered. The modern problem: if your brain is filled with 10,000 useless notifications, random social media posts, endless scrolling, meaningless content, it has no space to store the English vocabulary that could change your life. Every day the cycle begins. You wake up. You scroll Instagram before your feet hit the floor. You watch 5 YouTube shorts before brushing your teeth. You check 3 different apps before breakfast. You absorb 100 opinions that aren't even your own. And by 9 a.m., your brain is already exhausted. You haven't even started studying English, but your memory is already on strike. This is the hidden enemy of English learning: too much input, not enough silence. Your brain is like a glass of water. If you keep pouring more and more without emptying it, it spills, it overflows, it breaks. And that's why you forget English vocabulary. Real example: you make a mental vocabulary list in the morning. Perseverance, resilient, diligent, ambitious, determined. You don't write it down because you're confident. I'll remember, it's just 5 words. But what happens after making the list? You check your phone, 25 notifications, 2 YouTube videos become 10, WhatsApp messages, Instagram scrolling, TikTok, news headlines, 10 memes. By the time you sit down to study, your mind goes blank. You remember perseverance and, what were the others? Gone. Why? Not because you're stupid, not because your brain is weak, because your brain was flooded with junk. The important vocabulary got buried under a mental mountain of meaningless content. The mind is like a garden, not a dump. You must protect your English memory like a garden. If weeds grow wild, they choke the flowers. Every day you must ask, what am I allowing into my mind? Is this helping my English grow, or is it cluttering my memory? Am I building myself or burying myself? How to protect your brain. Powerful habits. 1. Start your day in silence. Before touching your phone, give yourself 5 minutes of stillness. Breathe. Set an intention. Review yesterday's English vocabulary. Let your brain wake up clean. 2. Limit useless information. Unfollow noise. Mute junk. Don't let your brain become a trash bin for other people's distractions. 3. Use journaling to empty your head. Write down your thoughts every night. What did I learn in English today? What do I want to remember? What can I let go of? This helps your mind release stress and remember what matters. 4. Practice digital fasting. Take 1 hour daily with no phone. Just you, your English notebook, your thoughts. Watch how your brain feels lighter. 5. Choose what deserves your energy. Not every message needs a reply. Not every video needs your time. Not every thought needs a place in your memory. Protect your mind like you protect your home. You wouldn't let strangers sleep in your bedroom. Why let random content live rent-free in your brain? The truth? You cannot have clarity, power, focus, English fluency, or purpose if your brain is drowning in distraction. This is not just a tip. This is a requirement for mental survival in today's world. Because memory is not just about learning, it's about making space for what matters. From today, be ruthless about what you allow into your mental world. You only get one brain. Don't waste it on noise. That was step 12. Protect your mind from overload. It is the final filter, the ultimate discipline, the silent superpower that will take your English memory to a new level and your life to a new direction.
You now know the 12 proven steps. Not just tricks, not just tips, but real, powerful, transformational strategies that will make you remember English vocabulary faster.
Never forget grammar rules again. Learn deeply and permanently. Feel confident in your English memory. Take control of your focus, attention, and learning forever. But let me remind you of one thing. Knowing these steps is not enough. You must live them, practice them, use them, because real memory isn't about genius, it's about daily decisions. Ask yourself, do you write what you learn? Do you teach what you remember? Do you protect your brain from overload? Do you review before sleep? Do you visualize? Do you build your mind palace? Do you repeat with feeling? Do you clear mental clutter? If the answer is yes, welcome. You're not just someone who remembers well. You're becoming someone who remembers what matters. This video is not just about memory. It's about awakening the real power inside your mind. One last thing before you go. This video is not only a gift for your memory, it's also amazing for your English. Every sentence, every word, every step has helped you grow in focus, clarity, English understanding, vocabulary. So if you loved this video, if you want more content that makes you smarter, stronger, and more fluent, subscribe right now. Because on this channel, we don't just learn English, we become the best version of ourselves in English, in life, and in memory. Your mind is ready. You have the 12 steps. You have the power. You have the system. Now, go make your English unforgettable. Let's go.